Are you thinking about buying a home and are considering making the purchase without an agent? Well, it is possible, but does it really save you time and money? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about today. I'm going to take you through the Kansas side process, the riskiest parts, and the exact checkpoints that protect you. If you remember nothing else, it's doable, but it can feel like a second job. And if you miss certain steps, it could end up costing you thousands. Now, keep in mind that I'm not an attorney and I'm not giving legal advice. Seek out your own attorney for that. And also keep in mind that every real estate deal is different and has its own unique challenges and needs. What I'm telling you today are just general guidelines. If you decide to pursue purchasing on your own, be sure to get expert advice on your own personal situation. But this video should at least give you some general guidelines and also help you decide when it's time to call for help. And don't skip the step that kills most DIY deals, coming up later in my video. Hi friends, I'm Cheryl McCormick, a licensed realtor with the #1 ranked Rob Ellerman team at Reese Nichols Real Estate based right here in Kansas City. On this channel, I help buyers and sellers just like you make smarter real estate moves with neighborhood tours, housing tips, and brutally honest market insights. So if you're thinking about making a move in or out of Kansas City or within Kansas City, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a thing. So first, let's talk about money, pre-approval, and the legal stuff. Before you even fall in love with a house, you need to lock in your financing and understand your legal framework, especially in Kansas where contracts and timelines are strict. So be sure to talk to a trusted lender. If you need some recommendations, I'll be glad to give you some names of some great lenders. Just message me. And you want to be sure you get a full pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification. That means that your lender has verified your income, your assets, and knows your credit. Sellers in Johnson County expect that. It shows that you're serious and it helps your offer stand out. Some sellers may not even consider your offer if you're not fully pre-approved. Ask your lender about rate locks, extensions, and whether they can meet Kansas closing timelines. Local lenders tend to know the ins and outs. Things like HOA formats, tax estimates, and local appraiser availability. So, how much do you pay? So, you found your dream house and you're ready to make an offer, but how much do you offer? You want to get the best deal possible, but you also don't want to overpay for the home. Negotiating the sales price of a home without an agent can be tricky because the listing agent legally represents the seller's best interests, not yours. Their job is to get the seller the highest price and the most favorable terms possible. That means every detail you share, from your budget to how much you love the home, can weaken your position. If you're going solo, base your offer on solid data, like recent comparable sales, days on market, and the home's condition versus others nearby. And always get your numbers from neutral sources like public records or appraisal data, not from the listing agent. Be respectful but firm and keep communication professional and concise. Remember, the listing agent can help facilitate the deal, but they cannot advocate for you. So it's on you to know what's negotiable and what's not. And price is not the only item that is negotiable in a transaction. Factors other than price alone can determine whether or not an offer will be accepted. You can negotiate things like the amount of earnest money, items that you may want to stay with the property or leave for that matter, whether or not you will do inspections and how many repairs you'll be able to request, what will occur if the home doesn't appraise, and the closing date. It's always good to find out what items are most important to the seller so you can make your offer as attractive as possible, but be sure to be as specific as possible in the contract with everything so that you don't have unexpected surprises later. And once you go under contract, you probably wonder what comes next. Well, first you need to pay your earnest money. It's usually due within a few business days after the offer is accepted. Earnest money is typically 1 to 2% of the purchase price, but that's another totally negotiable item. It's held in escrow with the title company. Earnest money may or may not be refundable depending on the circumstances and the language in the purchase contract, so be sure to read carefully. Kansas purchase agreements are very specific about notice requirements. Every contingency, including inspections, the appraisal, and financing, has a timeline and a process. If you miss one, that could put your earnest money in danger. And please, please double check wiring instructions by phone. Wire fraud is real, and once the money's gone, it's gone. Next, let's move on to inspections and other important deadlines. In Kansas, time is of the essence isn't just a phrase, it's the law. If your inspection window says 10 days and you haven't submitted a signed repair request or a cancellation by day 10, you've automatically accepted the home as is. No exceptions. That means you'll need to schedule inspections fast. Whole home, sewer scope, radon, structural, roof, and termite are the big ones. And while you may be tempted to forego inspections to save money, be extremely careful about this. After all, this is likely the largest purchase of your lifetime, and trying to save a few $100s here could end up costing you thousands in the end. Now, once you get your reports back, you'll create a repair addendum, which is a legally binding document. Stick to major issues like safety, structure, roof, or mechanical systems. Avoid the small cosmetic items. They just really weaken your negotiating position. Here's another area where DIY buyers get tripped up. Vague language. Saying repair is needed doesn't mean anything legally. Be specific. Tell exactly what items you want repaired and even who you want to do the work. Specifying a licensed contractor or even a specific vendor protects your investment. After all, you don't want the seller's brother-in-law repairing an item that he learned how to fix on YouTube. And don't forget re-inspections and contractor bids. If you're accepting credits instead of repairs, make sure the dollar amounts equally match real estimates. And be sure to check with your lender because any changes in the contract can affect your lending. And something that people usually don't think about during the inspection period, be sure to secure your homeowner's insurance at this time, or at least make sure that the property is insurable. Insurance is a huge deal these days. I've seen deals blow up over homeowner's insurance. Things like roof age, prior claims, or even dog breeds can impact your coverage or premium. And be sure to align your insurance bind date with closings so that there are no last minute surprises. Next up, appraisal, title, and HOAs. Now on to the appraisal. Your lender controls this timeline, but you should encourage your lender to order this early. If the appraisal comes in low, you have options. You can renegotiate the price, make up the difference by bringing more money to closing, or you can terminate if your contract allows for that. Some buyers add what's called an appraisal gap clause, but make sure you cap it in writing. Next up, title work. The title commitment will show things like liens, easements, or unpaid taxes on the property. If you don't object within the allowed period, you're basically accepting them as is. When the title company sends you a preliminary commitment, be sure to read all of it, especially the requirements and exceptions. I've seen several transactions fall through due to title issues, and believe me, you don't want any unpleasant surprises. Next, let's talk about HOAs. If the property that you're purchasing has an HOA, be sure to read all of the HOA documents carefully. These are the rules that you will need to follow as long as you own the property. HOA documents explain rules, fees, pet policies, reserve funds, and rental restrictions. These are legally binding, and many DIY buyers don't review them until it's too late. If you're purchasing a condo or a townhouse, be sure to pay attention to who pays for what the HOA is responsible for, and what the homeowner is responsible for. And look for how much HOA fees can increase per year. Many condos and townhouses can have attractive sales prices until you factor in the monthly HOA fees. Okay, so now we're in the final stretch. Once you've survived inspections, appraisal, title, and insurance, you're in the home stretch, but don't relax just yet. Your lender will issue what's called clear to close only after all loan conditions are met. That usually means updated pay stubs, bank statements, and verification calls. Don't open new credit or finance furniture before closing. It can delay or actually ruin everything. Your closing disclosure must be acknowledged at least 3 business days before signing. Read every line. Check the fees, the taxes, the escrow, and your final cash to close. Then comes the final walkthrough, usually 24 hours before closing. In the final walkthrough, you're going to verify that the property is in the same condition as when you saw it, repairs are complete, and that all of the systems work. And when wiring funds, always verify instructions by phone using a trusted number from the title company. Don't get the number from an email alone. Wire fraud is a big problem in real estate right now. So, is it possible to buy a house without an agent? Sure, it is. Is it easy? Well, probably not. But if you decide to go it alone, be sure to pay careful attention to the things I've talked about here today. Pay attention to all deadlines. Be sure to be as specific as possible when writing things into a contract, such as repair language and requested items. Be sure to read the title policy fully and the HOA documents carefully. And if you need additional help, hire a transaction coordinator or an attorney to oversee the transaction. Buying a home isn't a simple process. There's a lot to juggle. Deadlines, contracts, inspections, appraisals, and money movement, all while trying to live your normal life. If you decide you'd rather hire a professional to help you, someone who's an expert in helping you achieve all of your goals, reach out. I would love to help. And if you'd like help narrowing down the neighborhoods that fit your lifestyle and budget, I'd love to be your guide here in Johnson County. If you want to learn more about Johnson County suburbs, request my free Johnson County Relocation Guide. Just comment guide below and I'll send it straight to your inbox. If you're considering a move to Kansas City or anywhere within the Kansas City area, let's talk. I'd love to help you narrow down the perfect suburb for you, show you around, and make the whole process stress-free. Whether you're planning to move soon or later, I'd love to help you find your perfect home in your perfect neighborhood at your perfect price point. Just give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, or just scan the QR code to schedule a quick Zoom chat. Let's talk about your goals. Thanks so much for watching Living in Kansas City. I'm Cheryl McCormick with the #1 ranked Rob Ellerman team right here at Reese Nichols Real Estate in Kansas City. Hit like if you found this helpful and subscribe so that you never miss a Kansas City update. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay curious, and stay tuned for more exciting tours and real estate insights about Kansas City to come.